Welcome to the Creating Wealth Podcast, where Kyle Curtin takes you on an extraordinary journey alongside renowned multifamily real estate sponsors and syndication experts from every corner of the United States. We teach you how to harness the power of passive real estate investing and witness the transformation of your wealth building strategy. Let's create wealth together.
What's going on, guys? This is Kyle from Creating Wealth, and today we're going to talk about how implementing daily habits and routines can make you a better real estate investor. So to kind of jump into things, one of the books that many of you guys are probably familiar with and may have implemented a lot of the habits in that book already prior to hearing this. Essentially, that book is called The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll be able to see it. I'm holding it up right now. But if you're listening to it, you'll just have to take my word for it. But essentially, my friends, this book introduces an incredibly powerful principle and basically like setting up structure when it comes to your mornings, right? And essentially, this technique, this routine consists of an acronym called SAVERS, SAVERS. And essentially what it stands for is S is for silence. This often comes in the form of, like some sort of meditation. I personally like to do like a 5-minute guided meditation from YouTube. There's a million of them out there. I absolutely love it. I need to get more into doing like 10-minute meditations and really going deeper in that. But a 5-minute is definitely, usually enough to, kind of get my head in the right spot, right early in the morning. A is for affirmations. And one thing I actually do want to note before we jump too far in, guys, is there's a bunch of different ways to be able to make these acronyms work for existing, habits and routines and that type of thing that you already do. So I'm sharing, after I share each letter, I'm sharing what I personally like to do because everybody does it different. This is just what I've found works pretty well, in particular for me. And I'm always looking to, adapt and grow and make the letters in these acronyms, in this acronym a lot more effective. But yeah, so A is for affirmations. I personally have a little notebook that's like pretty small with a few affirmations that I read over daily in there. A few things from, confidence to, essentially swapping the identity of somebody who, was never really into the gym, never liked the gym and like regular, consistent physical activity and growth and that type of thing to, swapping to the identity that I am a person that, is very, very active in the gym and essentially like swapping that identity over and just reviewing it in my mind every single day. This is another one that's pretty awesome. I'm curious how you guys like to treat your affirmations. I personally, just kind of read it over. I don't read it out loud or like in the mirror or anything like that. I probably should. To really like get that verbal, and audible remembrance there, going into your mind and stuff. But V is for visualization. I typically have my 3-year vision written in the notes on my phone. So it's nice to, daily just, kind of skim through that. One thing that I also like to do as well is essentially include pictures of, different parts of the 3-year vision to put in there. So, I have a picture of a particular house up in Chester, New Hampshire that, I hope will be my primary residence one day. It's a 2-family. A couple buddies of mine actually, flipped it and we had like a really crazy experience, at that property a couple years ago. And there's like a few pictures of like some multis around Lowell and like, big commercial buildings with like, apartments on the top, storefronts on the bottom, etc. And yeah, essentially like a few different parts of the vision, and a screenshot from like a group chat with like multiple employees and or team members rather in there. And yeah, just kind of give yourself like a visual. I really like the visualization component of this, especially. Um, but moving on to E for exercise, what I'll typically do is just kind of keep it simple. I'll typically just do like 100 jumping jacks to kind of get my heart going a little bit. I go to the gym, every single day during the week after work, unless there's like some super crazy like anomaly that comes up. But the vast majority of the time, I'm very, very consistent with going to the gym right after my day job and that type of thing. So I kind of keep it short in the E category. R is for reading. Um, this one, obviously, the vast majority of our community, likes to read some sort of book that's related to, self-help, to self-development, to mindset, to real estate, in a tactical format, operations and business strategy, to some of the books that I actually have right behind me, talking about habit and that kind of thing. And yeah, it's always, really good to add in, reading a chapter or reading 10 pages, 20 pages a day into your routine. Because you're literally gonna rifle through books like there's no tomorrow. And it's crazy. Um, and yeah, it's absolutely wild. And the last one is scribing. This one, I'm kind of blending a couple different techniques together. So I have another notebook as well, and I forget where I saw it, guys. Um, but somebody out there might recognize it. It might have been from, I want to say it was from a book, but I can't put my finger on which one that it was. But essentially, what I like to do for scribing is I have a notebook that I'll write down 3 things that I'm grateful for, or 3 wins that happened yesterday, 3 wins that I hope to have today, and then 3 things that I'm thankful for. So in total, there's at least 9 things that you're writing every single day, and I feel like this especially helps with, um, staying in the gap for those of you who are familiar with the Gap and the Gain book, which is absolutely amazing as well. And yeah, just kind of like taking small account of the wins that you do have and the progress that you do make, as well as kind of keeping on track with um some of the things that you're grateful for and that type of thing, and just kind of giving you like a level head to start the day with. you know I absolutely love doing this technique on the weekends, like the Savers Miracle Morning. I definitely do it during the week, but it's a little bit tough because I'm up very, very early for my W-2. Um, and still kind of struggle with going to bed earlier and getting a solid amount of sleep and that type of deal. I still do it every day, the Miracle Morning, but it's not nearly as effective as it is on the weekends when I have a lot more time. But that being said, it's an absolutely incredible technique. I, couldn't recommend it enough. And how it essentially links into real estate is, if you're not, I feel like this taps into, a bunch of different areas of your life. And basically like just kind of making sure that you're on track and growing in, the stuff that's tactical when it comes to business. E, making sure that you're, very consistent and that type of thing, and doing some sort of physical activity, getting your body moving. Visualization, essentially keeping your eyes on the prize, like knowing what you're shooting for, not too far in the distance where it feels unachievable, but not too close that you're thinking too small. I really like, and I talk to a lot of folks and buddies of mine and stuff that really like a 3-year vision, because a 1-year vision is way too freaking close and a 5-year vision is way too far away. So a 3-year vision is essentially right in between there, and it might be a pretty nice medium, for depending on what you are looking to do. Um, with the silence, I will tell you guys, my favorite letter out of all of those is definitely S for silence. It literally feels weird to me when I don't do a meditation in the morning. Like, it drives me crazy. Like, the world is on fire, like lots of crazy things are going buck wild. Um I absolutely love the S for silence, and literally like just letting your mind go blank. And I'm excited to, basically keep rolling with this as time goes on, and doing like different videos and stuff like that. I try out a ton of different videos, daily, basically. I mean, I definitely have my favorites in there. Um, because there's guided meditations, especially for different aspects that you're looking to do. So there's some that are based around gratitude, some that are based around, visualization and that type of thing. There's a lot of different options to be able to pick from. And, yeah, I love it, man, because it's so easy for us to get like clogged up in our minds with, our bandwidth and that type of thing. And, you're already like, you open your phone, when you first get up, and there's a bunch of emails there's text messages, there's social media stuff going buck wild. Looking at your calendar, ready to jump into the day and see what you have going on in the business side, as well as everything else in your life that's going on. So I feel like that happens pretty often, that basically, like your mind is already filled up with like so much stuff. And, it's essential to just clear it. A couple things that I actually just remembered, a couple things that I do want to add on here is one of the things that I personally really like to do as well, that frees my mind pretty well, is I call it Jason time. And you guys have probably heard me talk about it before. The concept was first introduced to me through my buddy Jason Regan. Love you, dude. And I jokingly call it Jason time instead of me time. So it's basically like you time. You know what I mean? Like, just go to somewhere that's off site. I personally like to walk around a pond in Woburn, Massachusetts, and like have earbuds going, and have a binaural beats, like instrumental podcast thing going on in the background, to literally just allow my mind to free up, and just kind of like get lost and shut my notifications off and everything. I do that every Sunday, and it's something that's been absolutely imperative. And I will tell you, one thing that I like to do when I do that is bring a notebook with me, just a notebook and a pen. And you can go into it with an intention and be like, oh, like, what does your business look like? Or one of the things that my buddy Jason has introduced to me as well, this concept is, okay, so it's right now, it's January 9th. This is actually the day before this is coming out, so happy Wednesday, guys. I don't usually do that, but been a little busy recently. But anyway, so today's January 9th of 2024, right? Now, the exercise is, it's January 9th of 2025, and your business did absolutely crazy. Life is going extremely well. You're thriving in a ton of different areas of your life. Now go to your piece of paper, your notebook, whatever, and write down what that looked like, and just allow your mind to run and see what you come up with. And I will tell you that doing a crazy exercise like that will, I should say, after, clearing your mind a ton through, doing types of habits like this, escaping for a little while, freeing up your mind capacity, and, not allowing anybody to contact you for just a very, very small amount of time, like an hour, half hour, couple hours, whatever works best for you. And literally just allow your mind to completely free up and see what you come up with, or, hey, 2x is easier than 10, or 10x is easier than 2x. What does your business look like doing 10 times the volume, with 10 times the clients, buying 10 times the properties? Then, instead of trying to just put a ton more sweat equity in to try to get, double the result and just kind of inching forward. And it basically, like, what I'm getting at here, guys, is having these types of routines, these types of habits to basically just have your body and your mind as a whole in an optimal state to be able to allow you to think a lot more clearly, to have you, feel a lot better and be able to attack the business world, the real estate investing world with a much more clear everything, and yeah, I'm very curious to hear about, some of the habits that you guys, really, really enjoy. And I mean, weekly planning is another one. Basically, like, kind of getting an idea of what your week looks like, prioritizing different things and using like different color highlighters and that type of thing. I need to start using my highlighters again. But yeah, and basically just giving yourself a visual and really being able to increase different parts of your life that complement the real estate investing space as a whole, and because if you're super stressed out, your body's tight as anything, because you're not exercising, stretching, etc. Like you have 1.5 million things going on and, you don't clear your mind, you don't get away. You're not, consuming audiobooks, content, podcasts, YouTube, reading physical books, whatever it is to continue growing. You're not in an optimal state to be able to continuing to build up your real estate empire. And yeah, like, plus it's fulfilling, to be able to put a lot of work in on yourself and just feel a lot better in a lot of different ways, and just be able to step outside of your being and think about basically like step out of the entire picture and be able to think about how, maybe some different ways that you might be able to adapt, maybe some things that are working really well, some things that aren't working at all. How do you pivot? And that stuff's incredibly hard to see when you're in the weeds, you know what I mean? And just kind of, cranking the numbers and that type of thing and being very deep inside the day to day. And having habits like these and, that type of thing can give you some pretty crazy results, and make you a better investor overall. And yeah, very curious to hear what you guys have going on, when it comes to the miracle morning or other routines and stuff like that, and how you like to spend time with yourself and do you plan and that type of thing. There's a lot of different ways to do this kind of stuff, guys, but I'm more just kind of passing on the principle and some things that have worked pretty well for me in the past, and excited to continuing to push those in the future. But yeah, thank you very much. If you guys wouldn't mind, telling a friend about the show. I love, making little, episodes like these and that type of thing. Just trying to help from my experience and that kind of thing. If you could, please leave a rating and a review on the show. That would be absolutely awesome. I would very much appreciate it. And I hope you guys have an absolutely awesome hump day today. Alrighty, take it easy. Bye.
That's a wrap for today's episode. We want to thank you for being a valued listener of the Creating Wealth Podcast. Make sure to visit www.creatingwealth.com to connect with us. Dive into our ever-expanding library of informative blogs. Get access to our private investor portal and explore a wide range of additional valuable resources. Stay tuned for our next episode as we continue to create wealth together.